Ah yes, domain expansion, the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery.
領域展開
In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, a domain expansion is explicitly stated to be the absolute pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery, the literal manifestation of a sorcerer's innermost soul brought to life. We're told from day one that mastering this technique is what separates the casual sorcerers from the actual badasses and menaces of the verse. It's the ultimate peak of power, an inescapable guaranteed hit environment where you are essentially a freaking god. If you pull one out, it's wraps for your opponent. They get instantly clapped. GG's, it's over. At least, that's how it works on paper.
And that's exactly where my problem starts. Because when domain expansion was first introduced, this shit felt special. Like when Gojo pulled out Unlimited Void for the first time, I ain't gonna lie, I was sitting there like, nah bruh, whoever gets caught in this is finished. The aura was insane. The mystery was insane. The stakes were insane. Everything about it felt like we were witnessing something that only the absolute monsters of the verse could do. But then, the series kept going. And suddenly everybody got a domain expansion. At some point, these things started dropping like mixtapes in 2016. You get a domain, you get a domain, you get a domain. Matter of fact, if Jujutsu Kaisen went on for another 100 chapters, I'm convinced the manager at the local convenience store would have unlocked one too. And don't get me wrong, domains are still cool as hell. This isn't me saying they're weak. Far from it. Some of the best moments in JJK involve domain expansions. My issue is that the more common they became, the less special they felt. Because how am I supposed to treat domain expansion like the pinnacle of sorcery, and every major fight turn into two people screaming domain expansion at each other like they're launching bare blades? At a certain point, it stopped feeling like the ultimate trump card and started feeling like a mandatory DLC purchase. And that's where the domain expansion is overrated argument starts making a little bit of sense.
So we've decided to outline two major points to show y'all exactly why domain expansion is indeed overrated. And I know JJK fans are gonna flood the comments ready to defend, but y'all gotta chill for a second. What we're about to say right here in this video is gonna make a lot of sense, and will probably change your minds on this as well. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it. The guaranteed hit isn't guaranteed. Apparently, folks, this is true. Let's think about it for a second. Imagine if you're told that there is a peak level of strength that you've got to reach to unlock some insane power. I'm talking straight up obliterate a nigga to dust, turn your opponents into hot sushi, or even melt niggas like they just entered a fucking volcano. Any of that is capable with this power, and your opponent wouldn't be able to do jack shit about it. You're gonna be feeling like a god once you obtain that power. So you spend years training and gaining experience just so you could attain that peak, and then all of a sudden, after all that hustle, all that hard work, all that grind you put in, you do eventually reach that peak, but then you end up getting clapped by a nigga wearing literal blindfolds in a couple seconds. Like really bruh, you gonna sit there and tell me that I spent all these years and effort to get that insane power just for it to turn useless real quick? Nah bruh, it's unfortunate. But this is the reality of domain expansion in Jujutsu Kaisen. As powerful as domain expansion is with its guaranteed hit effect, you'll at least expect that whoever gets caught up in that shit will be done for, wrapped up and thrown in the trash, out of here ASAP. And that's due to the way the show describes the power as the absolute pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery. So you'll be expecting this shit to go crazy, no cap. But that's not always the case, because apparently some plot armor gotta bust in and ruin the party. Plot armor strikes almost every time a domain is spawned in JJK. At this point in the show, that shit has now become a weapon that Akutami deploys every time someone activates their domain. Oh my goodness, man. We have so many options now available in the inventory to counter the guaranteed hit effect of a domain. I remember the very first time I saw domain expansion being used in the show, and this was when Jogo tried to jump Gojo. This nigga Jogo thought he was dealing with a small fry. Nah, my boy. Bro ain't know what he was walking right into, and his dumbass was about to find out real quick. Gojo just straight up dicing and pounding this nigga shit. No diddy though. He out here showing this nigga Jogo why he alone in heaven and earth is the honored one. In the middle of the battle, this nigga Gojo just dips and casually returns with Itadori. Hey yo, that's disrespectful, man. That's like you getting beat up so badly by your op and then he decides while y'all are getting active to just dip and come back because he know you still ain't gonna do shit when he gets back. Damn! So this nigga Jogo tells Gojo that bringing in a third party who he gotta protect during the battle will just slow him down. Gojo just laughs at his dumb ass and tells him, Yo, bro. Gojo is just being mad disrespectful here. He got this nigga all fired up. Jogo is like, nah, bruh, you gotta go. Enough is enough. So he activates his domain expansion. I remember sitting on my couch watching this shit, and I was so freaking excited to see a domain expansion show up for the very first time in the show. With what we've been told, I was expecting that it would be raps for Gojo, or at least he would have suffered some level of damage being trapped in Jogo's domain. Either ways, that guaranteed heat effect gonna go crazy here. But instead, this nigga takes off his blindfold and does this. Nah, bruh, this is crazy. Gojo just cancelled out this nigga's domain like it was nothing. He just made Jogo's domain look like a glass house, just throwing stones at that shit. It's pretty clear that domain expansion isn't really what we've been told, because I just saw a nigga get his blown out like a lit candlestick at a birthday party. Damn.
Now, my problem with domain expansion is honestly the biggest one, and that's the fact that these things stopped feeling legendary. Cause think about it, the first time you ever saw Unlimited Void, brother, Akutami made that scene feel like the second coming. The entire atmosphere changed, the colors changed, the music changed, Jogo looked like his soul left his body. Gojo wasn't just stronger, he felt different. Like this was a level of sorcery that ordinary people weren't even supposed to witness. And that's exactly where Akutami told us domains were. The pinnacle, the absolute peak, the final destination, the thing that separates monsters from others. And honestly, that idea felt incredible because every great power system has that one thing. In Bleach, it was Bankai. In Naruto, it was the Mangekyo. In Dragon Ball, it was the Super Saiyan. The moment you saw one, you immediately understood, oh, these people are built different, and domain expansion had that same aura. At first, when only Gojo, Sukuna, Mahito, and the disaster causes had them, it really felt earned. These were monsters. These were special people that existed on a completely different level. But then, the series kept going, and suddenly everyone had one. Hirogami got one, Hakari got one, Yuta got one, Yurozu got one, Naiwa got one. Even characters who had just entered the story were pulling out domains. And don't misunderstand me, most of these domains are actually cool. Deadly Sentencing is fantastic, Idle Death Gamble is fantastic, but at some point, I stopped reacting to the domain itself. Instead, I started asking, okay, where's the gimmick? Because that's exactly what domains became. Not the ultimate technique, not the final trump card, just another mechanic. And once your audience starts treating your ultimate ability like a gameplay feature, you've lost some of the magic. Because imagine if every single captain in Bleach had Bankai. Imagine every single ninja had Mangekyou Sharingan. Imagine if everyone in Dragon Ball became a Super Saiyan. Eventually, you stop being impressed, you start expecting it, and expectations kills aura. What's even crazier is that the story itself still acts like domain are this mystical thing. Characters still call them the pinnacle, they still act shocked, some of them still tell us how impossible it is to learn. Meanwhile, the audience is sitting there like, brother, the side character from 3 chapters ago has one. The narrative says domains are like Mount Everest, but the actual story treats them like an apartment building. Everyone lives there, everyone has the key, everyone knows the floor plan. And that's where the overrated arguments comes from. Because a pinnacle isn't supposed to be crowded. Pinnacle is supposed to be lonely. It's supposed to be terrifying. It's supposed to make the audience think, oh shit, he's using that. But now, half the time someone says domain expansion, I'm not thinking, oh my god, I'm thinking, alright, who's countering this one? And when your ultimate moves becomes the setup instead of the payoff, it stops feeling like the strongest technique in the verse. It starts feeling like the standard equipment. And that's where domain expansion lost some of its aura.
Alright guys, we have finally come to the end of this video. And in conclusion, yes, domain expansion is freaking powerful. No doubt, that is until the plot armor hits, or it's just Gojo canceling niggas' domains like it's nothing.
Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and also remember to drop a comment, because we'd like to know what y'all think about the video. And as always, I'm King.
And I'm Jermaine.
See y'all next time, guys.